Listen, everybody needs a fairy godmother, just somebody to look out for them. Some people call me their fairy smoke mother, others their internet big sister, but you can call me Hannah, the host of Smoke Sash. So come hang out, let's light up and talk everything there is to life. The good, the bad, the ugly, the embarrassing. I've got a story for it all. Oh, hello, loves of my life, hotties of the world. Welcome back to Smoke Sash. My name is Hannah, your host. As you guys are freaking aware, and wow, what another week of life and getting through life and managing through life. I'm still going through it, as all of you are. Before I sit down to film this, obviously, I go through every single one of your questions. And I do this to kind of catch a vibe, see what's going on, see how the girls are doing. Maybe a couple questions pop up that are the same, similar situations, similar vibes, similar things. And from the gist of the 1,000 questions I receive, it sounds like people are going through it. It sounds like the girls are struggling. So you know what? At least we can struggle together. Because it's no fun when you're the only one struggling. But when we're all kind of like, uh-oh, I'm a little nervous. It's nice when we all have each other's backs and we don't feel alone in doing so. I mean, that's kind of the main reason why I do this podcast, is I just don't want anybody to ever feel alone. The same way like I will feel lonely. Even if I sit down with you guys, it's like, all right, I'm not alone. I'm hanging out with the girls. I'm having a little chat. Life is good. We're chilling. And you know what, babes? Life lesson, the only way out is through. Not circling back, not trying again. Through. Getting through it, going through it, doing your best. Crying here, laying on the floor for 5 minutes, getting up, finishing that shit. You know what I mean? That's, I fear, the only way through. But I mean, in grand scheme of things, not much has changed in my life, and I think that's probably the problem. I'm just hitting this point of Saturn return is approaching. It feels like there's a monster coming after me. I'm also in my late 20s. There's like a new kind of mindset switch that's happening. My mid 20s were super fun as soon as my brain fully developed, and I was like, damn, okay, we can think through problems, we can handle shit, like it's good. And then it was like, oh, I can handle shit. And now I'm facing a new challenge of, now babe, you gotta choose what the fuck you want to do in this life and how you want to approach it. And ooh, choices. There's so many of them. But overall, I had a good week. As you know what, not great, but it's been fine. I'm trying not to complain. I hate a complainer. Genuinely my biggest pet peeve. So I'm trying not to complain. It's just been like emotional turmoil that I feel like maybe is a bit self-inflicted by sitting and letting myself suffer, because sometimes suffering feels a little bit more comfortable than actually making choices in my life towards betterment. Something to bring up with my therapist. But I did my usual weekly routine. I set some small goals for myself. I've kept up on them, doing my best just to kind of like stay in routine, stay goal oriented, pick up some new books, do some journaling, small little things here and there to kind of keep me balanced. Then I went to the rodeo this weekend, so that was my little outing for the weekend, which was really fun. Honestly, had a fabulous time. If you've never been to the rodeo, I mean, it's an event. It's something to do. Listen, I live in Kansas City, Missouri. You would think there would be more rodeos, but no, there's really not. There's only a couple that come through every year. And also, like, for the people who have never been to a rodeo, rodeos are not just an animal abuse show. You know, with animals, there's good people and there's bad people. Think about zoos. Like, some zoos are fabulous. They do animal conservation. They do education. They have, so much goals and, rehabbing work. And, there's good people in those environments. And then there's also like the roadside zoos where you drive through in your car and feed them out of a bucket. And it's like, well, that seems a little sketchy right there. With anything in the animal world, there's good and bad. So you have to kind of be, I mean, smart about what you go to. You obviously don't want to support places that are going to obviously do things the wrong way. And luckily, this one was a very good one. I was very impressed with how they handle the animals and the events that they put on. And I mean, as now that I have some time under my belt working with horses, I'm able to actually read animal body language a little bit better. Because, you know, with horses, with cows, with bulls, anything like that, the way they behave is a little different than like dogs or cats. You know, the average animal you come across. So it was really nice to see like some animals, you could tell they didn't want to participate. And the people were like, all right, they're not going to participate then. You know, we're not going to force them to do this thing they don't want to do. We care about these animals. Obviously, these animals are super fucking expensive. You would be surprised how much a horse costs, how much a bull costs. A lot of money, more than your car you're driving right now. I can tell you that. But it was nice to see, you know, some horses, they were like, I'm kind of freaking out. I don't want to do the barrels. And they'd come out and they'd be like, all right. They'd stop and they'd be like, all right, I'm going to get off. We're going to walk back. Very chill. So that was actually really nice to see. It was good to see the community come together and celebrate that and have a good little time there. I have honestly just been out at the barn all week, spending time getting lost in the middle of fucking nowhere and finding myself hopefully through that. I don't know. I've been spending a lot of time with animals recently and it's been very healing, not having to hear so many people around me. I'm finding myself in a place where everybody's kind of having an opinion of what I should do, how I should do it, this and that shit gets super confusing, especially as a reformed people pleaser, where it's like, well, I want to make them happy and they said I should do this with my life, but I don't know who to trust. I don't know if I trust myself. Like, when I am trying to make real life decisions for myself, I don't have really anybody I can come to and get a solid answer out of other than me. And same thing goes for you. Of course, you know, you should have good friends where you trust their opinions. Hopefully you have good family where you can trust their opinions. But at the end of the day, opinions are opinions. And what you choose to do in this life is ultimately up to you. Completely up to you. Spooky, scary, I know. Halloween scary. Skeletons dancing around kind of scary. But also, it's like sometimes when there's too many opinions going on, it gets really cloudy, it gets confusing, it gets overwhelming. And so to kind of ground myself, I really have been spending a lot of time outside, in nature, with my horse. She's been kind of a brat recently too. So we've been kind of just like chilling, doing little spa days, just hanging out in the grass, in the sunshine. It's been really nice. At the barn, actually, there's been a little creature lurking around, and they've been like, I don't know what this creature is, but it keeps coming into the barn, eating all the cat food. The cats are like, where the fuck is my food? What's going on? You know, the two barn cats that are there, they thought it was raccoons at first, because, I mean, raccoons love cat food, and of course, they're little thieves. They want to get in there and steal as much food as they can and escape. But no. One day, the barn manager was out there, and she was like, you know what? I think it's another cat. I think there's another cat coming in here. So they put a can of wet food in a trap, you know, just like a very normal cage trap. And they caught a mama kitten. Mama kitten, not mama kitten, mama cat. All right, big mama cat, big mama. And they were like, okay, well, we know she's here, but also like, it had seemed like she'd given birth, so it's like, okay, we gotta release her now because there's kittens somewhere and we don't want the kittens, you know, getting hurt or ill or sick, not having their mom around. So they let the mom go, put another can of cat food out, caught a kitten. So they're thinking, oh, maybe this kitten's old enough to be on its own. So they're thinking maybe the kittens are starting to grow up and wander around, and the little creature that was stealing all the cat food was this little kitten. And it is so stinking cute. It is absolutely feral. I'm talking like holding on to the bars, like screeching at people the first day they caught it, which, like, of course you gotta, you know, survival of the fittest. You ever see a cat in a trap, like, they are trying to get out. But they're on like day 3 now of having this cat, and kind of like slowly starting to socialize it. It's got its little litter box, it's got its food, it's got its water, but like, and it's got like blanket over it to make sure it's like kind of hidden, but slowly socializing it, slowly getting more people around it, slowly like, associating humans equal, we're not going to eat you, don't worry. And also we are going to feed you and take care of you, safety. And it's slowly starting to come around, but they have no one to take this cat. And I'm like, do I need a project? I don't know. I'm in this era of my life where I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm booking a trip. I'm going to stay with nuns at a monastery for a week. Like, I'm doing a vow of silence for a week. I'm getting a new kitten, a feral kitten. I'm going to socialize it. I'm training a horse. Like, I'm such a fixer, and I don't know. Maybe I'll take on this challenge. We'll see. I don't know how Danger would do with a semi-feral kitten. And it would be like a months-long commitment of trying to get this to work, which it's young. A good amount of socialization will go a far way. But I'm like, do I take this cat in? Everybody vote down below. Should I take this kitten in? It's not like it's not going to go to a home. It's going to go to a home. They're making sure it's going to go somewhere safe and good. These people aren't horrible and awful. They're like, we want to make sure this cat has a home that we trust. We're not just going to put it on Facebook Marketplace. Like, let's make sure we socialize it. Let's see that someone comes around that we trust, give it to them. But she's like, Hannah, if you want this cat, it's all yours. And I'm like, listen, the most socialization it's going to get is at the barn. So like, let's let it kind of chill out a little bit and let me think it over. Because baby, it's been 3 days and I can't decide to get a cat that fast. I mean, I know Danger will put it in its place, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to. Maybe I'm in the mood to be a mother. I don't know. I just started my period. Sorry, this is a rambly episode, but this is just girls chatting right now. OG Smoke Sesh. I also, for the first time in my life, first time ever, went back, way the fuck back, to the OG episodes and listened to like the first kind of couple weeks of episodes that I put out, and they were just like so random and rambly. So that's kind of the vibe I'm curating right now. So if you missed the OG Smoke Sesh days, baby, we're back. Okay, not one fuck is given, but also like my life is just kind of like wild and chaotic as it was then. So it's funny how shit circles back. It's funny how this happens. But I don't know. I'm in this phase of my life where I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So let's just do everything. I'm tired of the sedimentary lifestyle. Okay. I have been in this apartment for 3 years. I've been in Kansas City. I mean, forever. But like, I've been in Kansas City living on my own since I was 19. I feel like I finally became stable, like adult stable in my life once I moved into this apartment. And for 3 years now, it's been kind of the same fucking thing, which is safety and control. But I'm the kind of person who enjoys growth, enjoys change, enjoys challenging myself and leveling up. I mean, life is one big fucking video game. And are you going to stay at level 1 and do the same challenge over and over and over and over and over again? Or are you going to take on a challenge and level up and do that boss battle and do this and do that? That's kind of how life is. You honestly got to play the game of life. Now, you can play any game you want. That's the beautiful thing about life. You can be Papa's Pizzeria. You can be opening up your own little Bob's Burger shop, have your own restaurant, work in a restaurant, do all that fancy stuff, cook your own food. If that's the video game you want to play, you can. If you want to be Red Dead Redemption and become a cowboy and be on horseback 24 hours a day and work with horses and be in that world and live on a ranch and live in the middle of nowhere, baby, guess what? Game of life. You can do anything you fucking want. You want to play Nurse Simulator for the rest of your life and challenge yourself in like medical ways, live the Grey's Anatomy kind of lifestyle, minus probably the drama, but medical field, it's always drama. Trust in that. Guess what, babe? It can be that way. You want to live Five Nights at Freddy's? Like, you want to be spooked and scared? Baby, become a ghost hunter. Like, genuinely, anything you want to do, you can go after. And I'm very blessed with I broke that mindset in me early on that like I needed to live a very certain type of life, such as like the setup life that we all get, which is good and dandy and fabulous and fun. If that's the way you go, trust there is stability in that. Love it, beautiful, amazing. Where it's like graduate high school, go to college, graduate college, go to grad school, get a job, have a family, have kids, that kind of traditional path, which is fabulous for, some other areas of life they have to go into, maybe like business administration, if you want to become a teacher, if you want to become a professor, if you want to be in medical school, school is fabulous. I'm not shitting on school. I think everybody should go to school. I think school is a privilege and we should treat it as such. Okay. But I kind of am not that way. And so I broke in my brain very early on, like I have to be on a traditional route. But now I've been realizing I've kind of been floundering and trying to figure out what I want to do. But this game sounds good. But this game sounds good. But I want to do this. But I want to do that. And it's like, I can do all of that. I can play every single game I want. I could put one to the side and pick up a different one and do that one for a little bit and then try a different one. But I have to at least pick it up and try to play the game, or else it'll never happen, or else shit doesn't happen, shit doesn't change. I'm just sitting here and staring at a wall, which is what the last 3 years have kind of felt like. I've been in my comfortable routine. I've been doing my comfortable things. The most I've really challenged myself recently has been with horseback riding, which has taught me so much about confidence. Bitch, my horse was throwing a bitch fit today. She practically became a bucking bronco. I'm not kidding. It's because she has flyby allergies. She gets bit by flies, especially the horse flies. She has an allergic reaction and she just gets like, she wants to come out of her skin. She gets so itchy. So if there's a saddle on top of it, a saddle pad or a girth, anything, any sort of tack touching those bites, she just is like a wild child. So I was on that horse trying to control her and she was backing up. She was about to flip over on me. She was throwing her head. Drama queen. But it's like, okay, you face a challenge. You're a little scared. You kind of want to get off. There's no getting off the ride. There's no getting off the ride, or else you're teaching that challenge that yes, it can overcome you. You do it safely. You kind of win it over. You work through the problem. Then you get off. Then you end on a good note. You always got to end a challenge on a good note, on a satisfying note for yourself and for your horse. So this has been, today was probably my most challenging day ever in horseback riding. And it was so nice because I realized, damn, I've been craving a challenge. Like, she was going crazy and the girl I take lessons with was like, no, like, I was scared for you. And I was like, yeah, but also like every one of our lessons has kind of been the same thing. This is the first time she's really kind of like thrown a fit with me on her. So I mean, although I was nervous and scared and a little like, oh, what the fuck's going on? I knew it was a safe environment. I knew it was controlled. I didn't feel out of control. I felt like I could handle it and I wanted to end on a good note. I didn't want her to get the best of me. And I realized how good that felt. How much I love a challenge. How much I love leveling up. That felt like I passed a new level and I'm going on to the next, and sometimes like challenges are really good for us. Life is never going to be easy, and low-key when it's super easy I kind of side-eye it a little bit because I'm like, what the fuck is coming next? Or maybe I'm not feeling satisfied. So I'm finally in a place where I'm like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna challenge ourselves. We're gonna try new things. We're gonna put ourselves out there. It's gonna be hard, it's gonna be difficult, it's gonna be challenging, but like it's gonna feel so fulfilling and so worth it. And baby, there's no other choice. Oh, you're just gonna sit here and do nothing with your life? No. Good things never come easy. They're gonna take work, they're gonna take effort. You're gonna have to prove to the universe that you deserve it. If I take on this feral kitten, I'm about to be gloved up trying to, love on this kitten, figure it out before it is like able to be a cohesive unit. You know what I mean? It's going to take work. It's going to take a lot of love and care. But it's like I'm in a place where it's like I need challenge. I need newness. I need to kind of force myself out of my comfort zone so that I'm able to reach the next level. That is life. Now, there's so many options to it. But at this point, it's like I just got to pick them and try, see how it goes. Otherwise, nothing's going to fucking happen. and doing nothing is actually driving me insane. I started my period this week, you guys. I'm free bleeding the fuck into this couch right now. It's actually a mess. It's actually a horrible, awful mess. Any men who are listening to this right now, you're probably like, what the fuck? Yeah, imagine how I feel. Imagine how I feel. I've been losing my mind this period. I don't know what's been happening, but literally I am at this point of my period of life of whatever, where it's like, fuck it. I can handle this horse, this bucking bronco of a horse. I can handle this feral kitten. Fuck it. Let's book a flight. Let's go to a monastery. Let's do a 10-day silent retreat. Let's pick up a new book. Let's start painting. Let's do whatever it takes to get me to the next level. So I'm going to allow myself to go insane. Sometimes as a human being, to grow, you kind of have to let yourself be crazy. Sometimes when I find myself holding on to staying sane, or no, I need to be normal, I need to smile through it, I need to show up and perform, I need to do this, I need to do that, it makes me complacent. And in reality, sometimes I get the furthest in life when I allow myself to like lose my mind a little bit, to go crazy, to go off, to be a wild child. That's where I thrive the most. That's where I find myself pushing myself into avenues that are challenging but rewarding. Through every challenge, there's always a reward. Period. Point blank. And getting off easy sometimes is never the actual easy answer. I know, baby. I wish there was nothing more. I wish I was a nepo baby born into a multi-billion-dollar family where my parents could just hand me everything on a silver platter and I could do everything I ever wanted and just travel. The easiest life ever, baby. There's nothing I want more than that, but that's not what I was given. So bitch, I better work with what I got. Be thankful and keep it pushing. Okay, no time to dwell, no time to be sad. There's shit we gotta do, okay? And sometimes to do the best thing for us, you gotta lose your mind a little bit. You gotta go a little crazy. You gotta be a little bit of a bitch. Yes. You gotta say, no, I want this and I'm not gonna settle for less. And you will achieve everything you've ever wanted. Do I even know what I want to achieve? No, not really. But fuck it. I'm gonna try everything and something will stick. So hopefully this fiery energy that I am feeling, this potent, I don't give a fuckness, I can transfer onto you guys, because it sounds like a lot of you guys are going through situations similar where you're like, what is happening? What am I doing? I don't feel good. I don't know how to change. I don't know how to make decisions. I don't know how to go forward. And you know what? The beautiful thing about life is we're never alone. You will figure it out. And what makes it easier is hopefully we can figure it out together. But yeah, I've been really mentally unwell recently. Very mentally unwell. And the more mentally unwell I become, the more I resonate with my mother. Where I'm like, damn, they didn't give that bitch props enough. I know me and my mother have a tumultuous relationship, but that's because we are the same exact person. She said copy paste. And we are challenging individuals. We are cutthroat individuals. We are hardworking. We are fixers. That's probably the biggest problem we both have, is we are fixers. We want to fix people. We want to help. We want to show up, which can be good, but when you overexert yourself, it can be real bad, especially if you have something attached to you that always is a problem. But the more I kind of step into my womanhood, the more I'm like, damn, bitch, you did not get enough props. You did not get enough props. You know, you showed up, you showed out, you raised these kids, you worked hard, you excelled in the job field that you were in. You always overextended yourself. You always were lending a helping hand. Anytime you had free time, you were showing up for other people. And I mean, I didn't know, but now I know, that whole time she was suffering so much emotionally, massive depression. Like, it runs in our family. We can't help it. It's just something we're born with, but also like the situation doesn't help. And it's like, no one showed up to her and asked her, how are you doing? Are you okay? How can I help? You know, no one recognized that in her, and yet she kept fucking going and never gave up. And it's like, damn, that's kind of the lesson I need right now, where it's like, you know what? People might not show up for you. They might not notice that you're suffering. They might not notice that you're going through something, but you know who you are. You know how to help yourself. You know how to show up for yourself. And bitch, sometimes you just gotta keep it pushing. And of course, she wasn't like that isolated or lonely. Of course, like my dad was a good partner to her, you know, lightened the load the best he could as a partner. They had a really good relationship and still do to this day. So it wasn't like full isolation mode, but it definitely was like a, damn, bitch, you really did that. And I'm impressed. And if I get to be even half the woman that she is, I will achieve amazing, wonderful, beautiful things. Literally. She's texting me this morning. I was like, hey, I have a feral cat for you. She's like, actually, I'm dealing with your uncle's emotional problems. That's enough for me. And also, I'm volunteering at this concert. And also, I'm volunteering because voting is coming up. Midterm elections, bitches. Get out and vote. Get out and vote. Get out and vote. That's my PSA. I'm voting tomorrow. I'm getting an oil change. She's like, and I have an eye doctor's appointment and I have this. And I'm like, that's your Monday? Oh, girl, props to you. But enough about me complaining and complaining and complaining and complaining. I feel like I'm not complaining. I'm just having realizations. Let's get into what you guys have on your minds. How to stop getting upset about the small stuff. Oh, baby, the small stuff is nothing compared to the big stuff. I find when I am getting ticked off by everything, sometimes I'm peopled out. Like, of course, by the time you hit Friday and you've been at your 9 to 5 all day, maybe 9 to 9, whatever it is, sometimes you get peopled out where you're like, actually, I just want to be left alone. So my question is, when you're getting upset about the small stuff, your emotional battery, all right, is it empty? And have you taken the time to recharge it? If not, that's kind of how you fix that problem, is recharge it. But outside of that, that's obviously the simple fix, the easy fix, when everybody's going through normal emotions of getting ticked off by small little things, getting upset by small little things. Usually it's the emotional battery, but there sometimes is a larger problem outside of that, which is you are hyper fixating on the negative. Hyper fixating on the negative. Okay, when you train your brain to focus on things, I know everybody's been through this before, where it's like you break up with somebody and now you notice every single fucking like white Honda that drives through the city, and you're like, how many white Hondas are there? It's like, because you've trained your brain to start hyper fixating on it. You never thought about how many there were then, but now you're focused on how many there are now. You've trained your brain to hyper fixate on the negative and then to indulge in feeling sad or upset or depressed or whatever negative emotion that then brings out of you because it feels comfortable. Because negative emotions are the easy emotions to lean into. Trust, I've been a little depressed mess recently. And is it like because I am actually like going through real life problems? Yeah, sure. But also it's because it's so easy to feed into. It is so easy to feed into. It's so easy to sit and suffer. It's hard to be like, actually, I don't give a fuck about that person rolling their eyes at me. Actually, I don't give a fuck about that small little thing that happened. Actually, I don't care that happened. I'm choosing peace. I'm choosing, my peace. I'm choosing to focus on the positive. That is unfortunately the harder decision in life sometimes. And you can retrain your brain to not focus on all the white Hondas driving around your city. You know what I mean? You can train your brain to start focusing on the positive. So when you feel like everything is negative, every single thing you're noticing is negative, every single thing you're noticing is bad, horrible, awful, you have to work with your brain to start focusing on the positive. Easy step, 3 things you're thankful for. Yup. 3 things you're thankful for every night. Every single night. End of the night, you're winding down, you're laying in bed, you're doom fucking scrolling on your phone. That won't be a positive on the gratitude list, that's for sure. You write down 3 positive things. The first day might be real hard. You might think of 50 negative things, and it might take you 10 minutes to think of 3 positive things, but eventually you'll get there. Whether it's like, I ate today. Love it. Fabulous. I brushed my hair. Beautiful. I pet my cat. Perfect. It doesn't matter how big or small. 3 positive things. Slowly but surely, the more you practice that, eventually your brain is going to be trained to look for positive things everywhere in your life. Everywhere. Oh, I saw a butterfly flutter around and that was such a beautiful, special moment. I'm going to remember that all day. That's going to become my memory for the day. You know, it's so easy to fly through life and remember nothing sometimes. Like sometimes a whole day passes and I'm like, what the fuck even happened? So even if you're not hyper fixated on the negative, but if you feel like life is passing you by and you're not taking enough time to stop and smell the flowers, then bitch, we got to train ourselves to stop and smell the flowers, okay? It's so much easier. And I hate how easy it is. That's the one thing with mental illness, being mentally ill, is like I hate how easy my brain can revert back to that like 17-year-old like nasty ass fucking attitude. Everybody hates me, shit sucks, nothing's ever going my way, blah 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 blah, like that angsty ass attitude. It is so easy for me to revert to that. Literally so incredibly easy. It is difficult for me to stay upbeat, happy, positive. Some days are easier, some days are harder, but it's like, god damn, I wish it wasn't so easy. So that means the work is even more worth it. You know, it just means I got to put a little bit more work in, and it is so worth it. You want to know? There you go. Here's an example. Positive thing I did for myself yesterday. This was, I love it. Are you going through a hard time? Do you need an escape? Let me give you the recipe, the perfect recipe. I always find myself doing this subconsciously whenever I'm at my breaking point. I drive my happy ass to Barnes and Noble, and I spend about sometimes an hour, maybe an hour and a half, wandering through Barnes and Noble. Something about the scent of that place and all the books, it's like so comforting. Yoga could never. Like the scent of Barnes and Noble, I need that in a candle. They should sell those immediately. I usually get myself a new journal because my other journal has memories that I don't even want to flip through. It's like, let me get a new journal. Let's consider this starting over. Let's go look at some books, maybe some fiction, maybe some nonfiction, maybe some fantasy, maybe some romance, maybe graphic novels. Sometimes I'll go look at art books. They got art books, fashion books in there. And then yesterday I found myself in the horror section. I was like, I need something that's kind of like an escape. And so I picked up this new book, Lady Macbeth. It's like a retelling of the story of Lady Macbeth. And it's like this just like a depressed ass bitch who's going to marry this like scary man, and she's like, I don't want to be here. And then he's kind of involved in the occult. It's gonna be very interesting to read. It's gonna be a really good escape that I need. You know, sometimes I don't need the hard reads when I'm going through a hard time, but just giving myself that time to wander around, to get lost in different stories, to read the synopsis, to maybe read the first chapter, put it back if I'm not feeling it, to kind of get lost and explore. So fun, so refreshing. I highly recommend. If you guys are going through a hard time right now, go do that. Go to Barnes and Noble. Also, we should be supporting bookstores that are not Amazon. I also love thrift books. If Barnes and Noble is too expensive, don't worry. Go wander at Barnes and Noble, find the book you want, go on thrift books and order it for $5. You know, there's ways you can go around it. But get yourself a journal, get yourself a pen, get yourself a new book, wander around Barnes and Noble, and then go to a park, sit your ass down, read a chapter, do some writing, do some journaling, get those emotions out. That's all I did yesterday. And I had the best day of my entire week because it was like, okay, I'm just going to indulge and get these emotions out and work through them and feel them fully so that I don't hold on to them so much, you know, release them by acknowledging them. And I feel like a much different person today. Am I 100%? No. But am I like at least 15% more? Absolutely. And it sometimes is the little things that make the biggest difference, but you sometimes have to create those moments for yourself or look out for them. Train your brain to look out for them. Someone said, I'm in my flop era. Help. You're not in your flop era. You've just outgrown your last era, and now you feel like a flop because you feel stuck in your body a little bit. And I know this because I'm exactly where I am. It's like, if I think about who I am right now on paper, it's actually really fucking cool. Horseback riding, baking, being in nature, reading, writing. I got a podcast. I've been creating, been slacking on some of the creation, but I'm picking it back up. Like painting, working with animals, like grand scheme of things, on paper, really cool girl. Would love to know her. But in my soul, it's like, I've done all those things. I feel comfortable doing all those things. But now I'm ready to change a little bit. I'm ready to switch things up, to have some newness in my life, to have some excitement in my life. And so I kind of also feel like, okay, flop era. But that's because I was ready to grow and change. You are a little butterfly in a cocoon. And you are ready to hatch out of your chrysalis. Right now, you are in the stage where you're growing and growing and growing and growing. And that chrysalis is real tight. But baby, you're about to hatch out. So when you are in your flop era, or you need a rebrand, or you need to kind of like, move on to that next era of your life, here's some things you can do. Number one, you got to address what is working. Okay. Like I said, on paper, I'm a really cool girl. Here's all the things that are working for me. I love content creation. I love creating in general. I love being in nature. I love working with animals. I love being alone sometimes. I love painting. I love photography. I love writing. I love reading. Like, okay, what's working? Let's start there. Positive affirmations. What is working? What do I feel good with right now? I like my style. I like how I dress. Whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a long list. It could be just like, address what it is. Now, next, what is not working? What are maybe some of my bad habits? How am I self-sabotaging? What are some problem areas that I see? For me, it's like I'm not maxing out my days. I become a little lazy. I become a little depressed. So those things go hand in hand. I kind of need to pick myself up a little bit and push through it a little harder. Maybe like social habits, or drinking, or smoking, or little things like that do slowly start to add up over time. Small little habits where you're like, okay, I'm not going to the gym and it's not making me feel good. I'm not eating like how I want to, so it's not making me feel good. Things like that. What's not working? What is working? What is working? Love it. We got to address the positive. We got to celebrate the positive. What isn't working? That kind of gives you some ideas on how to kind of pull yourself out of your flop era. Oh, I don't like that I'm not moving my body. Okay, let's start maybe like once a week going and doing something and moving your body, or a daily walk, something simple like that. Oh, I don't like my physical space, my apartment. Okay, well, let's purge and let's clean and let's get rid of stuff, and maybe let's do a little decoration, I'm doing that this week. I'm doing a bedroom makeover and I'm so excited. I feel like my bedroom, it's just been like the same thing since I moved in, and it's needed a revamp for so long. So I finally ordered all the stuff. That's going to be the vlog for the week. I'm so excited to redo my bedroom. I feel like a bedroom redo is like the best energy reset ever. Oh, I don't like the people I surround myself with. My friends aren't good for me, or they just like don't represent who I want to be. Okay, so let's cut those people off. Let's maybe take some space. Let's do some alone time. Let's do some journaling. Maybe I've been avoiding some emotions. I don't like that about me. Okay, so let's do some journaling. Let's do some internal work. Let's sign up for therapy. Little things. That's kind of how you slowly pull yourself kind of back up to neutral. All right, you're in your flop era, which feels like a negative. You can't go negative to positive because that's going to give you fucking whiplash and you're going to burn out. You kind of have to go negative to neutral. Listen, I've been a depressed girl for a long time. If anybody's going to speak on like kind of how to get through these emotions and survive it, it's me. And when you are in such a negative place, all you want to be is in a positive place. You think back to when you were happy, when life was easy, when it was carefree. And when you ruminate on that, and then pushes yourself down further. So let's not focus on being down. Let's focus on just getting to neutral. So I think the what's not working list is fabulous because it'll give you key points on what you need to change in your life to kind of pull yourself back up to neutral. Now, once you're in neutral, then you can work on the positive, such as like, okay, let's try a new hobby. All right, that's going to pull you into your cool girl era. No more flop era, more cool girl era. Let's try a new hobby. Let's develop a new personality trait. Fuck it, I'm going to go become a cowgirl. That's kind of how I was. I was like, I'm bored of who I am. I need to completely change my entire identity. If that's how you feel, go for it. Fuck it. Maybe you want to up your wardrobe, change up your style a little bit. I just cut my bangs. That made me feel like a brand new bitch. Made me feel good. Dye your hair, get a new piercing, get a new tattoo. Small little incremental positive changes, and then rewarding yourself for doing the hard work. So if I have a really heavy emotional day and I take the time to work through and process those emotions, or to clean my house, or pull myself out of bed and shower, whatever it is, I take time to also reinforce that positive behavior with a positive reward, such as, okay, well, this evening you get to chill and smoke. Congratulations. Or, all right, I'm going to order in my favorite food, or go pick it up and treat myself to that. Or, oh, I just did a really hard workout, or I went for a really long walk. Okay, fabulous. Now I'm going to go treat myself to a really long everything shower. Little things like that. You will eventually work your way back up to positive, but you have to accept where you are, look towards, the future, dream towards the future, and take small incremental steps. And you'll work your way out of that flop era. All right, I promise. Someone said, turns out I am the energy vampire. I need to stop complaining so much. Ugh, I feel this. Sometimes it's misery loves company. And so sometimes it's really easy when people are asking about your day to focus on the negative and to complain. But not only does that make people only see you as a negative thing, but also it sucks people's energy, because they're like, okay, how much can I listen to you complain for? And also it doesn't lighten your load. I think sometimes when people just want to complain constantly, you think it's because, well, you are going through something. If you're complaining, it's because you're going through something. Trust, But sometimes people think complaining about it will, and I've been here before, will make the situation better. Sometimes people think complaining means I'm working through it, I'm processing it. But in reality, that's just going to create rumination of you constantly thinking about it, constantly thinking about the negative, unable to see the positive, unable to work through it, stuck on an issue. I don't think complaining helps anybody at all. Now, I'm not saying you can never say a negative thing out loud, or you can't complain. Sometimes I've had a really shitty day and I got to get it off my chest. I had the hardest work day ever of my entire life this past weekend as a server ever. We were short staffed. I had not one, but 2 sections, 15 tables. Anybody who's a server is like, bitch, what the fuck? 15 tables, full house, 3 rounds. I did almost $3,500 in sales. Yeah, crazy, batshit fucking insane. I fell on the stairs. My legs are all bruised and beaten and battered. I feel like a beaten woman from my job. It was horrible. It was awful. I was going through a fight. I was massively depressed. I was having a hard time in my relationship. I'm having a hard time in my relationship with myself. And at the end of it, I just broke the fuck down. And listen, after that shit, after a hard fucking day, sometimes you gotta get off your chest. This sucked. This hurt. I had a bad day. Blah, 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 blah. Get the energy off of you. But you can't do it over and over and over and over and over again, or else you're just ruminating on your misery. You're just sitting in your misery and allowing yourself to suffer. It's okay to go through a hard time. It's okay to have a bad experience. It's okay to go, this shit sucked. But that's all it is. It's just a hard day, a bad day, a shitty situation. And the only thing we can do to actually make our lives better is to go, damn, that was awful, but we're moving forward. We're looking at better and brighter and bigger things. When you constantly complain, you are letting yourself sit in that place of misery, and we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. Also, I think it's a cheap way of bonding. This is not me shitting on you. This is me thinking about my past habits, because it is very easy, especially when you're in a negative place or a depressed state, to complain about a lot of things. I think it's a cheap way of bonding. Me and my coworkers, we complain a lot, but it's because it's a very cheap way of bonding with each other. Sometimes I'll bring up positive things. Of course, they're receptive to it, but you know, it's a very easy thing. Everybody can complain about something. You know what I mean? And so sometimes I think to bond, people think, oh, let me complain about something and that'll make the bonding better. But I think it just cheapens out that relationship. And the best way to actually build conversation, build up rapport is to talk about positive things in your life. And yeah, being a complainer does make you an energy vampire. I know this because, once again, been one. Not only does it make you an energy vampire to the people around you, because people naturally want to fix things for you. So they're going to give you advice and give you this and give you their emotional bandwidth, even though maybe you're not asking for it. You just start complaining. But also, you are becoming an energy vampire to yourself, because you're allowing yourself to ruminate, to sit in that misery, to think about it over and over, to replay a situation over and over and over again. The truth of the matter is, it happened, you made it through, and that is enough positivity to accept the situation for what it is and to move on. You know, the only way to move on is through acceptance. And you can complain about it, you know, you can acknowledge what the situation is, but eventually you're going to have to go, and it is what it is, and we're moving the fuck on. You know, I don't want you to be an energy vampire to yourself. It's very easy to be an energy vampire to yourself. Very easy. I can ruin my day with the snap of my fingers. I can ruin my fucking day. But it's like, where's that going to get us? What's the point? Why am I inflicting self-hatred, self-misery onto me? It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of time. There's bigger and better and brighter things we need to do. It is an active choice you have to make in this life, but it is a choice that I highly encourage you to make. How to move forward in life, demanding education / career, etc., while grieving and depressed. Oof. First of all, whatever you're going through, I'm so sorry. This is something a lot of people don't talk about, because we don't like to talk about this stuff. Humans don't like to. We like to talk about the positives, or sometimes your misery loves company and people only like to talk about the negatives. But there will come a point in your life where you are facing a challenge, facing a hardship, facing a problem, grieving, losing a loved one, losing a pet, losing a relationship, losing a friendship, whatever it is, a loss of some sort. Maybe it's a loss of self, loss of identity. Any of these things will trigger then a feeling of grief and overwhelming depression. I think a lot of people will tell you to just like, you just gotta feel it out and go through it, and time heals all wounds. But like, damn, yeah, no shit, but time's moving so fucking slow, and actually this is genuinely so incredibly hard. And so when I am in a place where I feel like I don't even know what direction I'm going, it's just kind of like I'm just suffering, I start to view life as one big ladder, one really long ladder, okay? And if I get up and I brush my teeth, I'm going up one prong on the ladder. All right, now we're getting ready for work. All right, we're moving forward. Another prong on the ladder. Okay, now we're driving to work. Like, I'm not kidding. When you are going such a hard time, sometimes those small steps are all you can focus on, because tomorrow is too much to think about. Sometimes it's like that. So let's get fucking real. Sometimes life is like that. Tomorrow's too much to think about. Tonight's too much to think about. I don't even want to think in general. So you have to set up small incremental steps in your life. And when you are grieving, when you are depressed, I mean, yeah, you can start implementing new hobbies, new things, big challenges, but like, usually you don't have the bandwidth for that. And I don't blame you. And I'm not telling you to do that. Sometimes you're just like, okay, right now we are going to get up and we are going to just sit in the shower. And that's all I'm going to do right now. And that's all I'm going to focus on. I'm not going to think about what's coming next. I'm just going to think about right now. That's all you got to do. It really is like, you just got to slowly work yourself up that ladder. And eventually you'll be moving quicker up the ladder. It won't be like next step. It'll be like, all right, I'm looking 10 steps ahead. I'm looking 20 steps ahead. But when that 10 steps ahead seems so incredibly far away, light years away, you just got to focus one at a time. And yes, with the truth of it all, truth of life, time heals all wounds. You will get over it eventually. You'll feel your emotions. They will pass too. But like, yeah, no shit. That's not what I want to hear. I want to know how to keep functioning. You know, I want to know how to keep functioning and keep moving on. And it really is just, baby, one slow, small step at a time. And if you can't function 100%, that's okay. That's all right. You will eventually. If you can only function 15% today, and all you can focus on is just like waking up, getting yourself together, going to class and coming home, then that's all you can do. If all you can focus on is just getting to work and getting home, then I'm proud of you for even doing that. All right, mental health days are important as well. If you need to take a day off, absolutely. But with like how heavy life can get, if all you can do is just continue functioning, then I'm proud of you, you know? And like I said, with time it gets easier, hello. But all sometimes you can focus on is today. And if that's enough for you, that's enough for me. All right. And I'm proud of you nonetheless. One step at a time. Just one step. I know you can do one step. All right. I believe in you. I love you. And you will get through it. You know, that is the truth to life. There's many truths to life that feel almost impossible when you're going through it. But one of the major truths to life is like, you will get through it. You'll figure it out. Things will get better. And with time, you know, life will get easier. You will be happier. I promise. Okay, a couple silly questions to lighten the mood. Thoughts on hypnosis and past life regression? I have never done hypnosis, and I've never done past life regression because, like, baby, this life is fucking enough. This life is enough. I got enough on my plate. I can't even think about past lives. But I have friends who have been through past life regressions accidentally, through probably massive amounts of psychedelics. Actually, I have a friend who's just telling me about this, where she had this past life regression moment where, once again, massive amounts of psychedelics. Don't do that. But it just happened. That wasn't her goal. It just kind of happened. And she found herself like, she was like, almost like when you're falling asleep and you feel like you're falling, like that feeling. It was that, but she fell into like the body of a woman in like the 1500s, like in a log cabin churning butter. She's like, what the fuck? And then she fell into another body of a woman in like flapper girl era, you know, and then she fell into a woman in like the 80s, like, you know, big teased hair. And then she fell and she was like in her body. I was like, damn, bitch, that's crazy. But then I was like, what'd you learn from it? She's like, I don't know. It's like, okay, well, you know, sometimes it's just an experience. And I don't think I would have anything really to learn from any sort of past lives I've been through. Do I believe in past lives? Kind of, yeah. Because I think energy is an exchange. And so I think with the give and take of energy, like, maybe when we pass, our energy gets split up into like 15 different directions, which creates 15 new lives. I don't know if it's like one whole soul transferred into another body. I don't know. When I die, I'll come out with a podcast about that. Share my experience with you all. But no, I don't know. I'm not in the mood to really do any past life regressions. Like I said, I'm overwhelmed with my current life. So, but I think it's possible. I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know why, but it's definitely a thing. I know people who have been through that experience. Hypnosis, I think, like okay, have you ever been in college and they have like the hypnosis people come through and they're like hypnotizing people on stage? That shit fake as fuck. Can't hypnotize people that way. But you can do hypnosis on like retraining your brain to think about things. The same way I was talking about retraining your brain to think about positive things. That's kind of hypnosis in a way as well. I have a friend who was trying to quit smoking, and she kind of went through hypnosis to quit smoking, but in reality, it was like her in a meditative state with the same thought process over and over and over again, the questioning of someone else in front of you of why you're doing it, how to address it, how to move forward. So then when you are confronted with the feeling of needing to smoke or whatever, you're like, actually, I don't need to do that. And I am strong enough to challenge that feeling and not give into it. I don't know. I'm not woo-woo enough when it comes to those two things. But also I've never experienced them. So tips for heavy periods. Also thoughts on period sex. I used to have massively heavy periods. I'm talking, to be a woman, I was like 13, going through my period for the first time, and I'm talking super plus tampon every hour. Yeah, every hour, every single hour. So much so where when I was in middle school and I first started my period, I would pass out from the amount of blood I was losing. It was almost as if you like nicked an artery and I was like bleeding out. That's how much blood I was losing. Women do not get enough credit. Okay, that shit is fucking insane. Now, the older you get, the more your hormones kind of stabilize and the lighter my period has become, especially with the introduction of birth control. My IUD, sometimes my period is non-existent, but this period, ooh, girl, I could feel her coming from a mile away. And of course she was extremely, extremely heavy. I'm talking like chunks, feet, just kidding. But like, I'm like, ooh, are we excavating something out of there? Because that's what it feels like. And for me now, the way I go about periods now is much different than the way I went about periods when I was younger. When I was younger, I felt ashamed of them because it was new to me. I didn't know how to go about it. It would be like tampons, but tampons are uncomfortable. Then I do pads, but pads would kind of gross me out. And then it's like just a whole hot mess of a situation. And now I've accepted the messiness of what that situation is, and I just let it be. Like I said, baby, I am bleeding out on this couch as we speak, and I don't give a fuck. I am a free bleeder. I'm a free bleeder. I am. I'm a free bleeder. I free bleed everywhere I go, and I'm dripping clots and shit in the grocery store aisle. I'm just kidding. I think when like people who don't have periods hear free bleeding, they think you're just like drip dropping down the grocery store aisle. You know what I mean? That you're sitting down and then getting up and there's a puddle. That's not how periods work. It's more so like, okay, yeah, like when I'm at home, let me lay a towel down. Let me put on some boxer shorts or some like period undies. If I'm going out in public and I have to dress up and do stuff and be gone for a while, sure. I'll throw a pad on. I'll throw a tampon in. We'll make it work. We'll do what we got to do. But for the most part, bitch, I'm free bleeding. And that's because I feel like when I use tampons, my cramps are worse because my body's like, get this fucking thing out of me. And when I'm wearing a pad, my pussy doesn't have room to breathe. There's no breathing room. It's like I'm suffocating her. And she needs to breathe. She needs to be a free girl. And so, yeah, nowadays I'm like, to make my life easier, to make everything easier on everybody, I gotta let it go. And also I find my periods go by faster because of that. But like I said, sometimes my periods are super, super, super light where I don't have to use anything and I can wear normal underwear and it's just like a little spotting here and there. But this time around, it's like, ooh, this is like a normal period again where it's like, God damn. Like I said, what are we getting rid of down there? Like who's moving out? It's crazy. And yeah, right now it's just like, I'm just bleeding through everything. I'm just wearing dark colored pants and hoping for the best. Truly, honestly. And if that's what it takes for me to feel comfortable as I can in this shitty situation, and that's all I'm doing. Okay. Lots of ibuprofen, lots of water, hot bath, heating pad. And that I'm good if I got all those things. Now, period sex. Yeah, I don't care. If I'm having sex on my period, it's like you should be thankful to even have something inside of me. So yeah, a little blood's gonna get all over you. And it is what it is. A real man, a real woman, whoever's strapping you down or dicking you down, hello, if they are not brave enough to have period sex, then they shouldn't be inside of you in the first place. I have this big qualm with men or anybody. I mean, usually it's men, but let's just go ahead for safety purposes and say everybody. If you are going to put rules on your partner about how they take care of their body, obviously, like, don't be dirty and gross, but like how you take care of your partner. Oh, I can't have sex with you like this, or oh, you have to shave this way, or oh, I don't like if a body part has something like this. Like, bitch, this is an organ and it's gonna do organ things, and if you want to be near this organ, you got to be thankful to even be near it. Okay, so I don't put up with that shit. I usually don't enjoy having sex on my period. Sometimes I will. Depends on the hormones I'm going through. So like if I want to, I will. If I don't want to, then I don't. And it really is as simple as that. And my partner better be thankful to be near me in general. And amen to that. You know what I mean? If it's like really heavy and really messy, lay a towel down. Pro tip, do it in the shower. The hot water on your tummy. Just get railed from behind. And then there's no mess, there's no cleanup. Easy peasy. In the shower, best way to do it, especially on your period. But yeah, if your partner's like, no, I can't have sex with you when you're on your period because that's gross. Bitch, that person should not be anywhere near a vagina in the first place. No, you need to be mature to have sex. That should be a rule. Obviously, it's not a rule, but like it needs to be more of a rule. A rule that maybe you hold in your life. But yeah, I personally, I just treat it like any other day. Truly, honestly. And it's funny because when I first met my partner, I remember, and this wasn't even related to periods, but I remember, I don't know, I think I was going to get a shot or something, and he was there. You know when you're just hanging out with somebody and it's like, okay, I'll go to your doctor's appointment with you. It's like, okay, we can really fucking hang. He like had to look away, and I was like, what's going on? He's like, I'm squeamish when it comes to like needles or blood. I get really, really squeamish and I get lightheaded. And I was like, oh. And then the thought popped in my head where I was like, well, what is he gonna do during period sex? Because like if I want to fuck, I want to fuck. I mean, of course, willing participant, but like it's just blood to me. It's just another day, is he gonna pass out if we have period sex? And I remember like the first time we had period sex together, I was like, oh, okay, he's fine. And even he was like, this is the first time I've ever had period sex. And he was like, and I thought I was going to be squeamish, but no, it's just like a little extra lube down there. So it's like, come on, be mature. If you're going to do mature things, be mature about it. What do you do with your long hair while fucking, fellow long hair baddie? Usually it's braided and usually it's being pulled. Oh, I don't know. The best way for me to manage my long hair in general is just a big long braid. I usually, if I'm at home, if I'm doing anything that doesn't require my hair being down, usually it's put up in some sort of way just to make it manageable. Whether it's a claw clip, a braid, 2 braids, 3 braids, 4, just kidding. But usually it's like in a manageable situation where ponytail, where sex ain't a problem. And you know what? Sex is wild. It's crazy. It's dirty. It gets, there's gloops and globs everywhere. Things are happening. Okay? 2 organs coming together. That shit's going to be crazy and wild. A little hair here and there. What's it going to do? If it's in your face, just brush it out of the way. Put a claw clip in. Put a little braid in. That's usually how I go about it. But usually I'm having my partner hold it for me. And that's cute and fun and sexy, and I highly recommend. If your hair's in your face while you're bouncing on it, riding it, throwing it back, taking it this way, that way, upside down, and you're like, oh my God, get this fucking hair out of my face, just tell your partner. Just be like, just grab it and be like, hey, like hold this for me. You can do that. Put them to work. That's how it should be. How do you cope with climate anxiety / grief as a young adult who loves this planet and people deeply? This is hard because bitch, it's hot outside and you can't ignore it. Like there's no ignoring it. It's really, 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 really hot outside. Really, really, really hot outside. Scary hot outside. And it's like, uh-oh, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. So here's the thing. When it comes to massive things relatively out of our control, such as climate change, of course, there are small little things we can do. We'll talk about that. But when it comes to the existential dread of it all, you have to focus on what is physically possible for you. Okay? So, if it's something that you are extremely anxious over and also maybe extremely passionate about, and you want to do something with that, and you want to go become a climate activist, work with, the parks service department, work with the trees, become a farmer, you want to be an advocate. There's so many different ways you can work with nature and advocate for it. You can work with animals, advocate for it, any sort of thing. If you have that energy and you are a passionate young individual, I highly recommend going into something where you can use those passions. Okay. If you are that passionate about it, I want you to go do something with that. Passion is important. Passion will get you far. Passion gets you further than anything else will. And we need, especially now, young, passionate, hardworking, driven people who want to make a change in the world, who are willing to go out there and make that change themselves. So if you are that person who wants to take that big step, go forth, do good, spread the word, then do it. Absolutely. Okay. Now, some people don't have that passion in them where they're like, I'm going to go become a climate activist, but they still want to do something about it. And that's when you look at more of like a community level. Okay. Maybe showing up to protests, maybe just doing small little things in your yard to help with natural preservation, conservation, little things like little bee watering areas, bird baths. Maybe you want to have like a like wildland protection area, natural grassland protection area. If you have that, maybe you want to go volunteer your time somewhere. Maybe you want to go work on a farm. Maybe you want to go do small little things here and there. That will help ease your anxiety. Okay. But sitting here and being anxious over it and thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it and doing nothing is going to make your life worse. And there's always a direct positive change you can make in your life with your anxiety that will help you. Your anxiety is telling you something, telling you want to do something about it. Can you go fly up there and fix the ozone layer and cool down this planet? No, you can't. No, you can't. For now, you can't. But what can you do? What do you have the bandwidth to do? What do you have the passion to do? Whatever that is, how small, how big, it all is progress and it all is change. But sitting here and suffering with the anxiety is not going to help you with anything. It's not. And I've been this way before, especially with climate change. It's something that we all think about. Like, I want to grow up. I want to have a family. I don't want the fucking earth to be on fire. I want my kids to have a good place to live. That's something that I get anxious about. Of course, anybody gets anxious about that. Anybody who wants to have a future is going to be anxious about that if you are a normal, rational human being. Duh. Hello. I spent many countless nights at 2 a.m. on my phone Googling where is the safest place to live in America for climate change. So funny. Like I said, me and my mom are the same fucking bitch. She told me she had that same exact moment. She was like, it's Minnesota. Yep. It is. Yes, it is. Michigan, Minnesota. I don't know. Somewhere up there near the lakes. All right. It definitely is not Kansas City, Missouri, because bitch, it's hot here. And it's like, am I going to uproot my life and move to Minnesota? Is that a passion of mine? No, not really. But what is a passion of mine is what I can do here. Voting in people who believe in climate change. Voting in people who will show up and show out for what I believe in and not settling for people who are not going to believe in those things. Okay. Going and volunteering maybe at farms. There's food banks that you can work at that helps sort through produce that maybe is not good for restaurants or supermarkets, but is great for food pantries or food shelters or anything like that. Working with local places in that sort of way. Recycling. Planting local native plants, getting your pollinators stuff that are gonna keep them going, keep them cool, feeding the birds, feeding the squirrels. Like, literally whatever you do that eases your anxiety is enough, but utilize your passions where they can be used. It is so worth it, and it will ease your anxiety, and it will make you feel like, okay, maybe there's a possibility of change in this world. Because where does change start? It starts with us. Starts with you, okay? Advice for existential dread as a woman in her early 20s. Oh, baby, wait till your late 20s. Not to make you scared. Not to come off scary. The existential dread you feel in your early 20s is that of, who am I? What am I doing? Like, who are you? You. I'm talking to you. Who are you? That's what my early 20s was like, who is Hannah? what is she doing? There was no space for me to really think too much about the future because, baby, I didn't know who I was. It was like my early 20s was for making mistakes, trying new things, dating people, not dating people, working at this restaurant, quitting that job, trying a new job, this, that, here, and the other, picking up hobbies, meeting new people, like making new friends, moving places. Like that's what the early 20s was for. It was like, there's no direction. We're going to pretend like there's a direction, but in reality, it's for like discovering who you are. And you are going to constantly evolve and discover who you are throughout life. There's no finished version of ourselves until we die. So like you are constantly going to be evolving and changing, but like the existential dread that I'm going through right now is much different in the late 20s, which is like, I actually want to settle down. Okay. When I was in my 20s, it was like, settle down. I am here for a good time, not a long time. I'm here to have a fun, fabulous time and discover who I am and go on these little excursions to find myself, whatever it is. Okay. There was no like forethought on the future. Now that I'm in my late 20s, it's like, okay, actually, like I'd die to have a house. I'd die to have a house. I'd love to get married. I'd honestly love to have children, but I have a lot of rules for myself and shit I gotta work through before I'm able to do that. It's like, I actually am setting goals now. Goals of longevity, goals of purpose, big goals, big achievements. And that kind of existential dread is different because it's like, oh, damn, it really is all up to me. If I want to save enough for a house, I got to figure out a job. I got to figure out a stable job that's going to pay the bills. It's going to have good income, things like that, to be able to afford that. If I want to get married, I got to make sure I'm with a partner I can trust, who shows up, who is there for me, who, you know, can be an equal willing participant. If I want to have kids, I got some generational trauma I got to work through. I got some deep-rooted issues I got to figure out. I got to become a little bit more stable of a person. I got to have a house. I want to have a house before I have kids. I want to, you know, have a support system there. If I want to have a house, do I want to live in Kansas City or do I want to move to a different state? Now I have a horse. Like if I want to move to a different state, do I bring the horse with? It's like the big picture questions. And since they're so big, they feel so daunting. I'm sure the questions you're asking yourself in your early 20s feel daunting too, such as like, who am I? What am I doing? What do I want to do for a job or a career? Those are big picture questions we ask ourselves in our early 20s. But I want to say, if you want to set yourself up for success for your late 20s, what you do in your early 20s should be all about trying new things and putting yourself out there. Okay? It's as simple as that. You want to heal that existential dread of your early 20s? Go out, go party, figure out if you like partying or not. Figure out if you like partying too much. Figure out if you need to leave that life behind. Figure out how to make good friends. Figure out how to build a good social group. Figure out, oh, do I like serving or does this fucking suck? Do I want to go back to school? Do I want to try this? Do I want to put myself here? Do I want to apply to this job? Do I want to quit this job? You know, do I want to try this hobby? Do I want to try this? Like, it's the small little steps, the small little things of figuring out your personality. Where do I want to live? Do I want to move here? Do I want to do this? Okay, that's what your early 20s are for out. Trial and error. Late 20s is like, okay, let's start putting concrete moves down. So I don't want you to stress yourself out too much because you're young and shit's wild and shit's crazy and your brain isn't even formed yet. So just go out there, have fun, try to make the best choices possible, but either way, just make a choice. Try it out. You'll learn more that way than trying to sit and suffer and figure out if you're making the right choice or not. You never know if you're making the right choice until you make a choice. So just be who you are. And if you don't know who you are, try a million different hats on until you find the right one. Okay? Because I'm so glad I did that in my young 20s. I was wild. Like I said, I'm getting back into my like wild era. I'm just going crazy. I'm just doing different things and trying them out. And if they work, they work. If they fail, they fail. I don't care. There's no more time for care anymore because where I am is good. Yes, but I want more. I want more and I want it all. And to get that, you got to just move forward. It doesn't matter what direction, you just got to move forward. And yeah, I do want stability in my life. It's something I'm realizing, especially the older I get. It's like, I like the stability I have now, but I want a more stable, And that means, that's funny. That means graduating this era and moving on to the next. So if you find yourself in a place where you're feeling that existential dread, congratulations. You've graduated one era, one flop era. You're moving on to the next. And that's a beautiful and that's a wonderful thing. And I don't want you to get too caught up on the sadness you may feel leaving something behind, or the anger you may feel of not choosing the right thing, or feeling this way or feeling that way, or comparison, contrasting. No. Focus on what you want and what you're moving towards. What do you desire? It's all possible. Like I said, game of life, whatever video game version of life you want to pick up and you want to try on for a little bit, go try it. You want to be a cowgirl? Fabulous. You want to play Papa's Pizzeria? Absolutely. You want to be a mathematician? Beautiful. You want to go advocate for climate change? Amazing. You want to be a politician, hopefully a good one, go be it. I don't care what it is, but you have a passion, you have a spark inside of you, you have something that makes sense to you, and I want you to follow through on that and lean into it. Everything else will fall into place, I promise you. And if you don't have that passion or that spark, the only way to ignite it and the only way to get it to actually discovered inside of yourself is to try things, make choices, go out, travel, move here, pick up this hobby, get into this, meet this person, break up with this person, make this friend, do this, do that, eat this food. Like, literally, it doesn't matter. Just make choices, go after them. It'll be so worth it. I promise you. But yeah, I feel like when I was younger, making like the chaos choices was so much easier because it was just like enthralling and exciting. Now that I'm older, it's like actually I'm having to make hard choices, which are not easy. Very difficult, very hard. And so right now I'm just being patient with myself and kind to myself as I make those choices of like, where do I want to settle down? What job do I want to have? Blah, 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 blah. Growing up, changing, developing. It can feel very uncomfortable, literally. We maybe stop growing physically, but I still feel those growing pains deep inside my bones, deep inside my soul. And all I can do is be patient and kind to myself as we grow and change and develop. And I hope you can be patient and kind to yourself too. It's so funny how like I'll sit down and do this podcast and at the very beginning it's like, oh, I'm so depressed, I'm so sad, and then by the end of it I'm like, actually things are okay, we will all be good, life is worth living, we must keep moving forward, one little ladder ring at a time. We'll get there, I promise you. But with that being said, I didn't have a lot of call-ins today and I was kind of in a rambling mode. So if you want to submit a call-in, maybe we'll do a call-in heavy episode next week. We're also due for a confessional. So if you guys are in the mood for a confessionals, maybe I'll do that next week. It might be fun. It might be a little silly. Maybe we'll do like a sleepover episode where we just hang out and we kiki like girlies and have a little confessionals sleepover vibe. That'd be fun. I'm really in the mood for that. The end of summer kind of vibes. I'm going to be filming finally a bedroom makeover vlog. So if you want to see that, that'll be on YouTube at Hannah Marlene 444 at the end of the week on Sunday. Patreon girlies, I love you so much. Thank you for being patient with me. I will be back to the usual beginning of the month grind set, but I do appreciate your patience as I've kind of been just taking time to myself to make sure that I'm good. I hope you guys are taking time to yourself to make sure you are good. And if you haven't done a little self check-in in a while, do so. It's always worth it. I just got a new journal and it's been so cathartic to just kind of like feel those emotions and get them out someplace safe where I am, you know, not having to hold on to so much emotional baggage. Release it, let go, focus on the positive. Life is good, but life is what we make it. So let's make it rock. Let's make it good at the very least. But with that being said, I love you all so much. Thank you guys for giving me something to look forward to every week. I really wouldn't be here without you guys, truly. You guys make life worth living. I know it's so silly and a little parasocial, but it's true. I look forward to this so much. And so I just appreciate you for being here, for making it through another day. If nobody's told you good job or congratulations, I'm doing it. Okay. I am proud of you. And together we can get through anything, truly. But with that being said, stay sane, stay sexy, and I'll see you all so soon. Mwah.